Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it, Kim.
Okay, so you and a few friends are under the influence and get lost while trying to get home. Your phones are dead. What do you do? Group 13. Yeah, Jack.
So we kind of talked about that we should always have like a solo friend with us, especially when we're like out in the country we don't know or like we're not familiarized with. But other than that, if there's not a solo friend, to find like a payphone or something, if you remember like that person's number or someone's number. Also get a taxi. It's gonna cost more, but you'll get home safe for sure. And a last case scenario is like finding an authority, like police officer or something, to kind of help you find the best way home safe.
Right. But so you're intoxicated and you're gonna find a police officer. That might not be the best solution. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. Yes, good. Yeah. A little bit of trouble is better than being lost forever. So that's a good point. So something in Sevilla is they're going to be, and during your tour, they'll show you these areas. There are actual taxi lanes is what we call them. And so taxis will literally just line up and you go to the first taxi and say, this is my address, and they'll take you. So it's literally like a taxi lane. And many of those taxi lanes are located in areas that there are a lot of tourists or a lot of folks who maybe are in need of a taxi. So making sure that you, as you're planning your outing, where's the nearest taxi lane just in case? Like just in case I get separated, just in case XYZ, I could get home somehow, right? And then the other tip for that is a lot of folks, and you may laugh at this, but a lot of folks recommend writing your address on your arm. Just in case, like if anything happens, your address is right there. You could write, you can, if you're not able to maybe talk as well, you could just be like, take me to this address, right? And you can literally point it out on your arm. And I know that you all are like, that's like, I'm not gonna get that wasted. You never know. Because drinking culture is very different, especially if you're going to Americanized bars in Sevilla. Okay, any other contributions to that topic? Advisors over there?
No, I think that's a good scenario and a great way to answer, Jackie. Good job.
Yeah.
Someone's been in this situation before?
No.
That was perfect, so good job.
No, someone has been in this situation before, is what we're saying.
Oh, I was referring to her, meaning like she answered it so well. I was like, have you been in this situation?
I was like, what?
Okay,
number 14. Everyone's out and having a good time, and you notice you haven't seen Alex in a while. No one here is named Alex, right? Okay, yeah. So you can notice you haven't seen Alex in a while. You realize they're missing. What do you do? What do you do? Yeah. Oh wait, sorry. This is this group, right? Yeah. So what do you all do?
We said first call Alex, and if he answers, ask where he is / why he left the group, and just to make sure he's okay. And then if he doesn't answer, then you'd call the advisors and let them know what's happening.
Good. Yes. Absolutely. What else? Any other contributions to like a missing friend scenario?
Maybe if it's around the area, you could go as a group and look around for him.
Yeah, definitely start searching for him. Hopefully you're concerned enough to start searching for him or her, so that if, as the advisors you're talking to, that's gonna be what we say, right? Like, when was the last time you saw Alex? Where can we go to start helping to look as well? So a scenario did come up like this where we were told where to go, and literally Sharon and I were like running around for almost an hour and a half looking for the person. In these scenarios where folks are lost, folks are missing, we want you to call the advisors. We want you to also inform the CEA team, but the CEA team can't help in a sense of calling like the authorities or whatever it is, because they're going to tell you, well, one, it hasn't been 24 hours, two, how are we going to find them without much information? So your best go-to thing is, yes, call your advisors if the person doesn't answer, and let us know so that we can start helping. Our responsibilities on program is to leave with 22 and come back with 22, right? So that's one of our top priorities too. Yeah, Jeff?
If we call advisors, will we get in trouble?
No.
No, not if you're reporting for it. We will probably have conversations about like, hey, you shouldn't get that drunk, which is what happened during one of our students got lost, and we had to talk to all of the students because they literally called us 4 hours after the student was lost. And so by then, the student was really, really far away. They were almost in a neighboring town. because they were walking in the wrong direction, intoxicated, right? And so that's the piece where we're like, call us right away so that we can help find the person, and we probably have more resources than you do. Like if our phone bill gets racked up trying to use data, that's on us. Like that's fine for us because we're committed to making sure all students come back safely, right? And so yes, informing your advisors regularly is important.
I was gonna say, how did you find them?
We try to instruct them to FaceTime us and share their location, but asking an intoxicated person to like FaceTime and share their location with you, has anyone ever talked to like a drunk person on the phone before? Yeah, so you all know what I'm talking about. Like it's hard, right? It's hard to interact with them. It's hard to make sure that they're pointing it at their face, pointing it around. This person was intoxicated to the point where we were asking them to find a street sign and literally couldn't find a street sign or a building, but was around many street signs by the time we found them. So that's what we're talking about, right? It could be like worst case scenario, but it could also be like they just really don't know where they are. But regardless of what the spectrum of crisis is, we want you to inform your advisors. You will not get in trouble for informing us. We will have a talk about it, but it's not going to be like, you informed us, you did a good thing, now you're kicked off of the program. Like that is not what the conversation is going to be, right? It's going to be about education. Let's make it a learning moment for everybody. Okay, number 15, as you learn, Sevilla is a cash culture. So you make sure you have cash on you before you go out. One of your roommates is the opposite. They consistently ask if you could spot them and Venmo you. You begin to get frustrated because it increases your visits to the ATM and you're starting to rack up a lot of international fees. What do you do?
So we said there could be a chance that that person doesn't know how to use the ATM, and she's like, or he or she is embarrassed. And
Let's say it's not that. Let's say it's not that scenario.
We would say that like they can come with us to the ATM when we go, and or they can help with the international fees just because we are spotting them for running campaign.
So like charging them an international fee too as they mention you. Okay, what else? What other things can you do? So this happens a lot, where students, they just don't want to withdraw cash, or they just don't want to take the time to go to an ATM, and they start asking folks like, oh, can you spot me, I'll Venmo you, can you spot me, I'll Venmo you. By the time it's the end of the program, the student has never gone to the ATM because they've just been like Venmoing their peers. So what do you do in that scenario, where they're just like, I just don't want to go to the ATM, like that's not what my jam is. We could open up to the class too.
I would tell them, listen, I am getting all these international fees. I don't know, I'm pretty straight up, so like I think I would tell them like I do not want to pay for you. Like, you know, like I'm getting all these international fees and like I don't know, like I'd rather spend my money on something here than on fees.
Right. And I think that's important that Kim mentions that, because every year in class we've had this conversation and it's like textbook. The minute that we get there, it's like, oh, who can spot me? And it's like this conversation never ever happened. And so I want you all to be really, really cautious of that. I mean, remember how I told you Omar made it rain with his money? He had a little wad of money and then everybody was hitting him up because he was the Gilman scholar. And he's the one that had like the cash. Well, then by the end of like his 2 or 3 days, first 2 or 3 days, he was out of cash already because he was lending everyone his cash and everyone would Venmo him, but then he had to go out and take out more money for himself, which isn't fair. And so I think in a good situation like that, someone in the group or people that are conscious of what's going on is going to be like, hey, there's an ATM right here that I looked at, let's go together. Or, hey, let's look at ATMs so those of us that need to take out money before we go out can all take it out at the same time for those that need it. But I mean, just be really aware of that. I get it, like if it's a one-time, like 5 pound, 10 pound deal, no big deal. But I mean, once it starts to add up, so.
Yeah, and there's a difference, I think, between saying like, hey, can you spot me because this is a cash-only place, they don't split the bill, I have 10 euros on you right now, here are my 10 euros, right? Versus saying, I'm a Venmo you. Like, no, cash, right? Give me the euros that you have.
What if we make friends, you know, over there that live there? Because I know when I went to Mexico with my family members, they would just exchange my American money for the Mexican money, and I just look up the current currency. So like, what if we make friends and they can do that for us?
if you're comfortable doing that because you've made a friend within the first week, or because you're only there for 4 weeks, let's remember that too, right? Then that's you're kind of taking that as your responsibility if they gyp you, right? Or if they give you what is it called? Fake money, right? And I will tell you that what is it called? Counterfeit is like huge in Europe, right? That's kind of like there's a lot of issues with counterfeit. So if I were being safe while traveling abroad, I would probably just go to an ATM, because then when you exchange with them, they know how much US dollars you have, right? And so that puts you in a potentially dangerous situation. And what I'm gonna say is like that's awesome. I think that if you all are comfortable doing that and you create that network of friends there, then fine if you're really comfortable with that. But what I would always advise students is act in the safest manner you can while abroad, especially because once you lose it, there's nothing we can do to help you get it back, right? Unless this is like a Ponzi, or like, you know what I mean? Like if they're like known for doing this, but how are we gonna find that person, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be like a, well, he said, she said, he said type of thing. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to do that, that's on you, but I would recommend always going to the ATM and doing the exchange yourself, because then that's accurate information of the current rates or whatever it is. Yeah, good question. Any other things about the Venmo thing? Money thing? Okay. So 16. Everyone's out and having a good time. It's a Friday and no excursions are planned in the morning. You decide to get intoxicated to the point of vomiting in the club's restroom. Your behavior impacted the rest of the group because folks needed to take care of you and get you home safely. How should everyone involved in the situation approach the situation? And let's also add in there something that occurred in our last program. While the person was vomiting, someone took a Snapchat of them and posted it online. Yeah, let's add that.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
Yeah. So,